3, 2, 1, and we're back for episode 2. Hey, how you guys doing?
I'm good.
Good, how are you?
Yeah.
All right, just give a brief intro to you guys.
I'm Toby. Toby Trent _ on Instagram.
My name is Tommy. I'm a portrait and commercial fashion photographer.
Oh, shameless plug right there.
Wait, mine's more shameless than that.
I mean, both shameless plug right there.
And who are you?
I am Jeremy Nguyen. I am photographer / videographer.
Yeah, basically we're all
That's it.
photographers.
Yeah.
We all shoot stuff
Yeah,
and edit stuff.
in different styles.
And
Yes.
speaking of that, what is today's topic?
I guess we're talking about personal styles today.
Awesome.
Yeah, personal styles.
Awesome.
So that's on your computer, Jeremy. Let's pull up some of our Instagram feeds where we upload our photos.
Yep.
And even like we were talking about this earlier, like we all, funnily enough, coincidentally, like have our photos lined up in threes
Yes.
on Instagram.
Indeed, we do.
And why is that?
Yeah, actually, I think,
Like, why-
I
like-
personally think we all have different reasons for threes.
Yeah, what's your reason?
Yeah. What's your
okay.
Because yours actually like it. Not only are the colors there, the theme is
scroll
there,
down a bit, Jeremy. Scroll down
and
a
like
bit.
yeah, scroll down on his one.
Yeah.
Yeah, look how
Got a little bit of
look,
snow going on there.
and even
A bit
even
of rainbow flaring right there. Oh, nice.
your. It's funny because I think you can tell a lot about a person through the photos that they take.
Okay. Yeah.
And care to elaborate on that
And
one?
scroll down even more. And I guess their choices of like white balance or like
This
tones.
is where the threes stop.
Because have you noticed, like, let's say, like, Japanese photographers or like Korean photographers, they have a certain like almost film like aesthetic to their photos.
Vintage look.
Yeah, and we know that as like a Japanese or Korean thing. Like that's their style.
Yeah.
Like as people, like we're not that different. Like we just live in different continents and stuff. But like, how can a whole culture have like different like styles, right?
Yeah.
And I think looking at what we can see on Toby's screen right now, it does look very Western.
Yeah.
The subject matter is, you actually started off with a lot of like,
Yeah. I just
Photoshop
like,
stuff.
yeah, Photoshop
Yeah.
and like composites, and
because I was always interested in just like doing really out of the box editing.
What happened to the fish tank?
It's up there. And right there.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. KPMG fish tank.
Yeah.
that was cool. I remember seeing that.
That was at the photo walk.
Yeah.
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 Shout out to the photo walks.
There's another one coming up.
But yeah, the reason I started doing threes now, because I started doing more photo shoots with people, and I started getting really more creative and getting all these kinds of different shots. And for me, I just couldn't pick one. So the reason I did three, it's a really stupid reason, but like the reason I picked threes is because I just wanted to post as many interesting photos as I could on that time.
And how do you, obviously you have 3 things to upload, correct?
Yes, yeah.
How do you determine which one goes in which position, like left, right, and center?
Sometimes the shots will help. Like sometimes the model will look right or the model will look
Okay.
left. So like for example, there is sometimes like it's a headshot straight on. So like or like the body is facing forward. So I'll have them in the middle line.
Right.
And then like the other ones, they'll be like looking left or right, and I'll have them on the sides. But like now it's just like it doesn't have to be like that. Sometimes it's just 3 shots, whatever seems appropriate for that kind of day, whatever I'm feeling.
Okay. And how would you describe your own like personal photography style?
That's the thing. I've started developing my own style. Like I personally don't think I have a style yet.
Okay.
I tend to shoot a lot of whatever like, and even my editing style, I usually just edit to the photo. I don't edit to a style. Like I know a lot of photographers, they edit every photo cold, or like they edit all their photos purple and stuff.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Like that's the style, the brand that they develop. But for me, I still haven't really developed that. I usually just edit to in like the way my eyes see it as nice.
But I think that's kind of like what I want to get in touch with is like how obviously people edit to their own eyes, right?
Yeah.
How would you describe
My eyes.
your outlook?
Punchy colors, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the punch of color. But then again, I also like sort of like the monotone. Like it's a go hard or go home sort of thing. Like
You really do like the contrasts
Yeah.
and things popping
yeah,
out. And I also noticed scrolling through your feed right now, a lot of the shots are urban.
yeah.
And that's kind of where you started off, right?
Yeah, urban only because I don't drive, so like it's always going to the train and train to the city, and then always shooting in the city.
Right.
Yeah, but I do want to get into more like outdoorish photography.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's like shout out to David because like we used to go on road trips, and like my other friends, we used to go on road trips together to like new places, and for me that was really awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like we just went to different places and shot, and to me that was awesome because it was a different thing to urban.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think the whole topic of how people have their own like eye for color and
Yeah.
tones is super fascinating.
Yeah.
It can get like really, really deep.
yeah. I'm having this phase now where I like color coordinating.
Oh, really?
So I think in my recent photos, the ones not of me, but like the ones second from me is like it's all pink, and the model was wearing pink. So it's like it's just color coordinating.
Oh yeah, interesting.
But yeah,
Why do you do that?
I just think it's interesting. It blends, but at the same time, I also want to start doing more like, I don't know the term. Like it's a contrasting color. So like imagine they have a black wall and like a bright red dress kind of thing.
Okay.
I want to start getting into sort of that as well.
Right.
So yeah.
In terms of like your planning ideas and concepts and stuff like that, how does the previous photos inspire you to do the next set of photos, or it's just brand new, fresh? But do you still keep the theme in mind of the previous set of photos?
No.
So it's fresh, clean
Fresh,
slate.
yeah.
Style.
Because I don't want to get too hung up on taking the photo for the sake of Instagram.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
I always want to be like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like going to a place and it's photogenic, like I can't help but not take a photo.
Of course.
But when I actually have the intention to shoot, I try to, I guess, get myself really immersed in the atmosphere of the place, so I can capture. Well, I try to capture what I feel through that time. So yeah, I don't shoot for Instagram. I shoot, for the sake of the photo.
Yeah, that's great. And through your experience, with Instagram so far, what is the biggest thing that you've learnt through this experience thus far?
Yeah, I think thus far it's like I've learned not to get too hung up on like posting for the sake of Instagram, like for the sake of followers and likes and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's not important, because I mean you subconsciously just you're hungry for it. It does feed you in some narcissistic way. But I learned to not get too hung up on it, and like if I see a post of mine that doesn't do too well, I used to get really cut by it, but now
I've been there, man. I've been there.
Yeah, and I was really proud of that shot, and it didn't get as much.
It's funny because like I think you're about to say the same thing. Like sometimes the ones that you think will do the best,
yeah,
they don't do as well.
They become a flop.
Yeah, and the ones that you think, oh, I need to put something out.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that like people really sometimes like they really.
It's a throwaway photo, right?
It's a throwaway photo, and they really enjoy that one.
Yeah.
If that for some reason that kind of feels good, but at the same time it's like, oh, so I shouldn't try too hard, but like
Sometimes it's like, oh, everything's a throwaway now.
You do you, boo.
Yeah,
Do you.
especially for me with like my composites, I'm always scared to because I put so much time and effort into composite edits. I'm really scared to sort of like post it and then it doesn't go well. So I've kind of stopped that for recently.
Yeah.
Like not do too much crazy edits. But I
I
realized like my Doctor Strange photo has been like
That was a really good one.
Yeah, I really
biggest-
liked it. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I think I got the inspiration at that time. So like my friend North Waters, Mike, was shooting me, and I was like, you know what, it looks like a perfect setting for a Doctor Strange photo. But yeah, sometimes I'll have the edit idea later on. Sometimes I'll have the edit idea in that moment. But yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
Let's put up your feed, Jeremy.
Oh, my feed.
Wow, saving Tommy for last.
Saving Tommy for
Alright.
last. I see. Oh, strategic.
How is that strategic?
It's okay. It's okay. It's
Like,
okay.
we can talk about my feed.
No.
Okay, let's talk about yours. then. Let's talk about yours.
That's all right.
Are we going up in followers here?
Huh?
Wait, do I have the lowest followers?
I have the lowest, I think. Yeah, I definitely have the lowest.
Okay,
Yeah, I do.
let's not mention followers.
That's not.
At the end of the day,
That's not what it's about.
It's just about the work.
It's about how we feel about our own photos. And how
Yeah, this is my work.
And even no. I think there's a lot of variety. Even
Yes.
you look at every second set. Scroll back up. Like that one with Jackie.
Shout out to Jackie.
Shout out Jackie. He like that set is like very like urban and grungy. You look at the next row and it's like vibrant, bright, and like super colorful and like outdoors.
it's actually refreshing to see like bright colors.
And you look at the one below it and it's like back to the grungy urban. And then you go back one lower and it's the bright colors again.
It's a bit urban, but it's still bright.
Like was that all like unconscious or
This is unconscious. For me, just like same as Toby. At the end of like why I started Instagram was to get into the community, meet
Yeah.
the people,
Yeah.
collaborate, work, and just have a fun time, and also give myself a chance to experiment and work on obscure ideas and stuff like that, and just to see what different lighting and setups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Purely just to experiment. And like I'm not gonna lie, there are times when I follows and likes or whatever, it kind of gets to me. I'm like,
It consumes
like,
you, right?
always
It consumes you. Yeah.
And but at the end of the day, I always remind myself, you put out the work there, you do it as a learning experience, and that's what it first and foremost, that's what it is for me. And like I'm thankful to have Instagram, because without that we wouldn't be sitting here, right?
You're right.
Yeah,
Definitely.
You're right.
So it's like,
Shout out to Instagram.
yeah. and like, even though with the low follow like count or whatever, like I still managed to meet some really good people.
Yeah.
And people that have able to, advance my career or, give me a different perspective on things, on photography,
Absolutely.
life, whatever. But in terms of the theme and what I'm going for, the reason why I do threes is because I feel like you can't tell the whole story in one picture. You can. There's an opportunity, but I feel like in the way I like to tell things, I like to go through multiple images because of I'm primarily working in film, like videos and stuff like that, and films frame by frame.
Yeah.
So for me, it's important to get a variety of angles to illustrate a story. And I feel like that's really important to me, and it kind of paying homage to film, like providing a narrative.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite cinematographers is Roger Deakins, and he made Blade Runner and Sicario and stuff like that. And he started out as a photographer, and then became a
Director of photography?
He did documentaries first, and then went into Hollywood cinema.
Right.
And I love him to death. I watch a lot of his interviews, and he's always like, I don't really have a style. And like Toby said this, like I don't have a style. My style is catered to the narrative.
Yeah.
The narrative comes first. As long, like, if people don't even notice how good the cinematography is, he's done his job, because they're immersed into the storytelling aspect, and that's what's most important. That's what I stand by, and that's what I really look into. But there are times when I don't, I do shoots that aren't really narrative based, but I kind of have that sequence of threes, like, to somehow tell some kind of a story. It might not make a little bit of sense, but in some ways I try to make sense of it in terms of like maybe in an aesthetic sense or in a narrative sense. So you can go either way. Colors and stuff that I choose really goes on how I feel. When I look at the shoot, I'm like, this would look really nice if the colors are really saturated, or this one's a bit more washed out, more muted, or more contrasty, less contrasty. this deserves a film look. It can go either way.
Yeah.
I think as like us as like photographers and like visual artists, a lot of it comes down to the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like what's happening like on the day.
Yeah.
If a shoot goes across like 2 days, you edit on like a separate day to a shoot, your mood's going to change, and that affects how the photo is going to be produced.
Yeah.
And touching on what you said about your favorite cinematographers,
Yeah.
like how he has no style and it's all narrative first.
Yeah.
Like I think that definitely rings true for client work, right?
Yeah.
But what about if there was no client involved and it was just your passion project?
Yeah.
And like how does that look and feel like aesthetically?
So are you asking if I'm doing my own personal work?
Yeah, if there's no brief involved,
If there's no brief, how do I develop
or
a
how,
narrative, or
how do you like through your own like seeing multiple like through your own pattern recognition?
Yep.
Like how does like something look like that Jerry makes with no brief?
Oh, as in how, like
What's
how-
natural? What's your eye basically? Or what's
Sorry,
natural to you?
Okay, so what's natural? It's like if someone looks at a photo like, oh, that's Jeremy's work.
Yeah,
How do I make that?
How do they know that?
How do they know that? I guess like as it's not completely one sided to the narrative. There's always certain things that stylistically you choose, like subconsciously. 'Cause
Yeah.
we all have preferences, right? And that will contribute to your style.
Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt. So I feel like what might and as of late, and what I've noticed in my progression of doing all this Instagram stuff is I prefer a more this is hard because I go through phases, a lot of phases.
Today, let's talk about today.
Today, I think right now I'm going back more towards really sharp, punchy looking images.
Yeah.
Very vibrant, lots of colors. If the scene calls for a desaturated look, I'll give it that.
Yeah.
But then compensate in through contrast or something to make it pop.
Yeah.
And make it look really sharp and nice. So that it gives this more three-dimensional shape. And I think with me, I like to play with in terms of composition.
I'm looking at it right now.
I like to play with volume and have more extreme angles. I like to play with extreme
Yeah, I'm
angles.
looking at the third one of Jackie on the top right.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Oh, thank you.
Did you climb? Did you climb to get that?
I climbed that on an injured shoulder.
All right, do it for the gram.
Do it for the
Hashtag
gram.
do it for the
Yeah.
gram.
I looked at the thing. I'm like, that's gonna fuck my shoulder up. But I'm like, but it's gonna look so
it's gonna look good.
Yeah. So,
And it did. It did.
yeah.
It does look good. It does look good. I like it.
And also, when you say you tell stories frame by frame, and you have a sets in threes, obviously you have like the carousel process as well.
Yeah.
And you tell stories through more than just 3 photos.
Yeah.
So you're really making the most of what the platform has to offer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to.
Actually, maybe, can we scroll down and see like your more previous work? Which one do you think kind of like just like resonates with you? Which one were you really proud of?
To be honest, the one that I really was I felt challenged.
Okay.
And when something challenges me, I really enjoy that process.
Okay.
Was Terry's shoot with the telephone.
Oh.
Shout out to your gal Terry.
Yeah. Yeah, that to me was a challenge because I only used a heater, the light from a heater that I brought.
No way.
And a lamp. So
Yes.
Where was it?
I remember
this is in RMIT upstairs.
No way.
I remember.
We're all
this.
shout out to RMIT, by the way, when using the facilities. But yeah, for me, I just had that to light up Terry, and for me, this concept was paying her respect to like the art house style cinema, especially, you know, the French cinema, like your dad watches at night, you know, there's like some sex scenes and stuff like that, and it's like a bit awkward, but like he's just chilling there with some food, just watching it
Like,
casually.
correct me if I'm wrong. You have like you have like subtitles.
Yeah, French subtitles. Yeah,
I see that. I remember that.
Shout out to Google Translate.
Making creativity
Classic,
possible.
classic.
Google Translate.
Yeah,
I like that.
Because a lot of art house comes from French.
Yep.
French cinema. Especially like the French New Wave, classic like 50s, 60s, like really old school cinema. I thought to myself, using the lighting that I had and whatever I had at the time, and Terry as well, how many ways can I use a telephone? Like, in how many scenarios can the telephone, just a simple phone conversation, and with different lighting, how many different looks and narratives I can produce?
What was, obviously you had the telephone conversation in your mind.
Yeah.
What can you describe to us? Like, what was that conversation? Can you translate that?
You're throwing me under the bus here. Okay.
Because I want to understand. Like,
Yeah. So
get in your shoes.
So this
Pick
photo,
your brain.
So this photo here, like, bear in mind there was a lot of freestyling, spontaneity
absolutely.
involved
Absolutely.
on the shoot.
Even post shoot, right?
You know, a lot of improv.
Okay.
A lot of
Yep,
improv.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Shout out to Terry for being patient with me. I was sweating my ass off doing this shoot. Could have been the heater, but I don't know. I think I have a picture of the setup. Maybe.
okay.
I don't know,
awesome.
that could be interesting. But for this one, this was more of like a horror film, inspired by horror film.
Yep.
So I used the carousel with two images. One with her just looking slightly off angle, and then more towards the camera
Right.
in the second one.
Yep.
And this pretty much just says like the phone. It's like it was inspired by the phone call guy, the meme.
Scream.
No, sir.
Oh, Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
Taken.
Taken.
Taken, that's
Taken.
it.
Yeah.
Damn, I was thinking Scream.
Inspired-
I was thinking,
Yeah,
I was thinking
it's like-
Scream.
yeah.
What the?
I will find you and I'll kill you.
Yeah.
That's a thriller, not a horror, but yeah.
I don't know if you can see it, but this is what was inspired.
Interesting.
That
Okay.
set of photos in particular.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's like
That's a pretty random
I mean
inspiration.
that's pretty cool.
The
But I
first,
like that.
I think the first one is like stay calm, and then the next one's like they're coming or something.
Okay.
Assuming like it's meant to assume like someone's gonna chase after her.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the second one was more of shit. Okay, the caption says that phone call that makes your heart skip a beat. Something that is not easy to hear. 10 seconds that feels like 10 years.
Ooh.
I think this one was a breakup.
Okay.
Or just a conversation you don't want to hear.
A heavy conversation.
A heavy hitter.
One of those.
Yeah, heavy hitter.
Yeah.
And I don't know, judging great modeling by the way, Terry. But yeah, it I wanted you to make you feel like your heart's thumping, you know, like
Okay,
this.
yeah.
You know, like Wolf of Wall Street is like, oh.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, good scene.
So,
Good scene.
as long as you could feel that internally, I feel like you're looking at the image.
Okay.
You're feeling for the image.
That's nice.
And then
What's following in that
the
carousel?
last one is more glamorous, I guess. A really high angle shot. I love shooting high angles or low angles.
Yeah, you seem to
I've
climb
noticed.
a lot.
Yeah.
He climbs a lot.
I've broken my camera doing a shoot.
No way. When you
'cause
dropped it.
I climbed.
On the model?
And
Or?
it just no, he climbed on.
As in you dropped the camera on the model? Or?
Oh, no, I dropped the camera. No,
On the floor.
It swung onto a
shit.
tree. I was climbing a tree, Federation Square shoot.
No.
This was like when I was really trying to urbex and stuff like that.
Federation Square.
I felt like if you're not climbing, you're not shooting.
Okay.
I get that.
in
I get
kind of
that. I
mindset.
get that.
This
yeah.
one we just found. I just got a stool and I just climbed up on top. And I think this one, similar to the second one, it's about hearing a secret.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know the exact translation. I know this is really bad, but yeah. I'm assuming when I look at it now.
Yeah.
And I think every time I look at these, a little bit of what I remember changes. Like my memory of
okay.
why
Yeah,
did it change, because it's been a long time.
What's the caption on that?
Okay. French. I'm gonna to all my French homies out there. Sorry. There are just some things we shouldn't know about.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Is this inspired by Seven?
Seven. The movie?
It was What's in the Box, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The caption just said "What's in the box," didn't it?
Which one?
That one.
Yeah.
The one you just showed us. Did I?
Oh, the French caption?
No.
No, the actual. Oh, right. Okay. I think I remember.
Oh, let's hear it. What I'm noticing is like
Oh no, I think I forgot.
a lot of Jeremy's stuff is inspired by film and movies.
Yeah.
Such a film buff.
Yeah.
Film and buff.
For me, I'm just inspired by what's around me. Like, yeah.
Interesting.
Not to say that I don't take inspiration. I take inspiration outside of film as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I take inspiration from my heritage, my friends, my family. I look at something, I'm like, oh, that could be something. I look at, like, we could honestly do a shoot right now.
here.
Right here, right now.
I get that.
We got the camera. Let's go for a shoot. Like, I think being a really good photographer is someone that can make the ordinary turn into the extraordinary.
Yes.
You know, see something as to be creative in general. Just to see that little crumb on the floor and like, how do I make this interesting? I think if you can do that,
Composite it.
you're gonna go very far in this world.
Lens flip. No, yeah. I get that. I think that's like almost like, to my definition of creativity, it's taking two like seemingly like disparate or like opposite things and forming like one, like something new out of it. So like 1 + 1 = 3.
Sorry to my mathematicians.
Give me an
something
example.
is more than the value of something is like more than the sum. I think I'm butchering this quote, but the sum of a thing is more valuable than like the total of its parts or something like that.
No, I understand. The 1 + 1 = 3. I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
I'm still lost.
So as in like,
Give me
like,
an example.
someone who's creative doesn't take things literally for what they are. They can use their creativity to turn a seemingly like ordinary thing, basically what he said, into like more than what it is, extraordinary.
Yeah. Okay.
And do you think who's really underrated in terms of creativity? Guess. Who do you think is underrated?
As in
someone we know, or
Some occupation outside of photography.
Okay, wait. Give me a sec.
an underrated occupation.
An underrated, as in someone that is not considered creative. As in, but is really creative.
HR. No, I'm kidding.
Someone
That's a lot of things actually. I think a lot of things could fall into
Creativity.
I think, but you obviously have something in mind.
It just depends on the person.
Dude, I think
Let's hear it.
theoretical physicists are very creative because they have to
Come up with theories.
well, they come furious, but they have to kind of abandon conventional science
Yeah.
in order to think of
Advance.
something
Yeah.
beyond that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just goes to show, you know, it's not just colors and whatever. It goes beyond. Creativity goes beyond that.
Beyond
You know,
time
if you can
and
look,
space.
if you can look at something beyond its physical appearance,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that's being creative.
That is also how I think of aesthetic. I think aesthetic is more than just the eyes.
Okay. Yeah.
100%.
Aesthetic like touches like your like emotions.
Okay. Yeah.
Aesthetic could be the words like you read and like where that comes from, like what you associate with each word.
Yeah.
And like I think captions, like something I really like about Instagram is like obviously you can caption things and like it's evident in the post, and that really like drives home the message,
Okay. Yeah.
the story.
It leads people into like what the photo is about a bit. Yeah, because for me, I've had a hard time thinking about a caption because captions are really important for like leading people into like how what the context of the photo is.
Yeah.
So like we never know, like if you just see a photo by itself, it's like, oh, what is that, or who is that, and like stuff like that. But like the caption sort of like drives you to tell the story.
Captions definitely fall into part of a style.
Yeah.
Yeah, photographers deal with more than just photos, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I've definitely taken more inspiration from your captions.
My captions.
Yeah, because like you have a real like a block of like what you're thinking.
Some deep.
It can get deep.
Yeah, and I'm just like, huh. It's like it's an interesting read for me. And I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I always wondered like how many people do read this.
Me too.
Yeah.
I wonder like because I do spend a bit of time, maybe like 10-15 minutes per caption, like per like lengthy caption.
Yeah.
And I wonder like who reads the whole thing?
Who cares?
But it's like a journal. I think.
Yeah.
Do it for yourself.
It's a creative outlet.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, write it because it's a way, it's a method for you to collect your thoughts and understand what's happening.
And I think someone who maybe has been following me for a long time, but let's say has never met me, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I think they might know me really well if they read through everything, if they consumed every bit of content. Like they might have like a really good understanding of who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
To some extent, to some degree.
And I think that plays on like, do you know the quote like, how we do one thing is how we do everything?
Yeah.
Like I think that's the definition of a style, isn't it?
Wait.
How we do one thing, we do in everything. Is that what you said?
How we do one thing is how we do everything.
How we do everything.
True.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like if you're taught, like just to me, I think the way I'm translating this is like if let's say your dad teaches you to ride a bike, so you know how to ride a bike that way, but then do you build a table? Like that kind of translation.
Let's break that down, right?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is manner. How do you ride a bike?
Okay, right. Yeah.
Like, do you ride it hastily? Do you feel each pedal, or do you not notice and like riding a second nature, and you start wondering and looking around? People drive cars in different ways, right?
Yes.
It's those few things that you do really consistently.
Yeah.
I think contributes to your style.
Okay, that
and I think these things that we don't even notice, but we do so unconsciously, taps into all other behaviors that we have in life.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
True that.
And that when a photographer is given a camera and we put that in and we give them like the opportunity to like take whatever they want, you can see that through the photo.
Yeah.
It's those habits too that we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's what I find really interesting about photography is like you can get to know someone like really well if you can like pick up on these patterns.
Yep.
And I'm like, wow, like I knew this person. I understand this person.
Awesome.
So we've gone through my feed, Jeremy's feed, but now let's go to Tommy's feed.
Strategically, let's get to Tommy. I'll check you. We'll cut you some slack. Cut you some slack.
I've no words.
Tommy. We'll full screen that.
Here we go.
Okay. All right. And start from the top.
So you also go through a row of threes, but it's not. It's very different.
We promise we don't copy each other.
It's actually
influence.
It's actually
always
very different to me and Jeremy's.
Yeah,
it's very different.
I mean, I used to do threes really well. I think lately what I've been more focused on is the individual image, and maybe like a secondary image that follows it.
Yeah.
But I've honestly been failing to keep like a consistent set of threes like per posts.
Yeah.
Maybe my I don't know. I feel like I'm getting less photos that I'm really happy with over time.
Okay, yeah.
But maybe that's because my standards are just getting higher.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't have the threes anymore. Like I think the most obvious three, if you scroll even like further down, is that one and like the above the like with the
like that's probably
the most obvious one if like if it lines up.
I think the dangerous thing about doing threes is that sometimes all the shots do look the same.
Yeah, they are really similar.
Yeah, and that is a dangerous thing because like I have had moments where someone has told me it's like, what are you doing? You're posting like
The same
why,
photo.
Why are you spamming my Instagram? Like, you're
Do they say
posting-
that spamming?
Yeah, it's just like you're posting the same photo over and over. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But I know you guys love doing portraits. I like my fair share of portraits as well. But I think, as a creative outlet, I encourage you guys to not think about that one shot that you're gonna do.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Maybe think about less focus on the subject, but also maybe what's in the background as well.
Yeah.
But which is also something that should be considered in the portrait. I don't know, like for me, I personally, when I go out and shoot, I don't think about the shots that I can do first,
Yeah.
but I try and think about what the shots I can't do.
Yeah.
And as in like what I don't naturally think about
First.
the first.
Yeah.
When I
Oh,
think-
interesting.
So when I do a concept, I automatically think, oh, this would be a 6 shot, that would be a 6 shot.
Like, yeah, you
whatever.
write down a shot list, but then
Oh, sometimes I'm too lazy. I don't. I keep everything in my bloody head, which is not the best way. But yeah, I think about what when I go there, I'm like, I look at the scene because it's always going to be a little bit different from what you imagine
Yeah.
when you go there.
definitely.
You obviously have a plan in your head and whatever, but sometimes I go off track just a little bit, just to see what I thought I can't do.
Yeah.
And usually I find some little gems in there in terms of different angles and shots that I could do. But yeah, I don't know. You guys obviously work a lot differently to how I do, but that's one thing when I was kind of in a creative drought.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, what can I do a bit differently?
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
yeah.
I don't usually think that way. Like if I'm like, because you're saying you try to think outside the box from the get go.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person who's very comfortable with like my instincts,
Okay.
and so that's kind of what like drives a lot of the photos on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, that's how I roll pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like I think that goes to style, some
Exactly.
things that we do
Exactly.
Instinctively. But yeah, let's keep looking
Back
at
to
back
the
to the feed.
How would you describe your style actually?
I think a lot of the photos are very the feeling I'm trying to keep consistent is like dreamy,
Yes.
like daydreamy.
I love this photo, by the way.
Oh, cheers.
That is, I don't know, it's so nice. That's a bloody good portrait. It looks like I can palpitate the face.
Palpitate.
Yeah.
A lot of words today.
But I really appreciate that, because like as much as like for me personally, I like to shoot a lot of shots. I only like to select a few, and I
Absolutely.
think you working really hard on one photo,
Yeah.
is all the difference.
Yes,
And I
yes.
think it's worthwhile looking at each of your photos because of the time and care that you take in each individual one. I love your contouring, something that I really want to learn from you. But yeah, I feel like you've really put yourself in the portrait. Like obviously, I think like you could think of some stuff that you could improve yourself. But I love your portraits, man.
Cheers, dude.
But yeah, what do you think for the next thing? What do you think is what's that gonna be? Or is that a secret?
What's coming up?
What's coming up?
Well, it is spring. It's
Oh, yeah,
spring now,
yeah.
and I've got a lot of floral shoots in mind. And I guess the way I come up with shoots is, so I think you get inspired by like film, right?
Mainly film. but
Mainly film.
pretty
Let's
much
say like mainly film, right?
Yeah.
I think for me, mainly it would be like words and like lyrics.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like if it's like a line of like poetry or like a lyric or like something like that. If I feel like it resonates with me, I'll save it on like on one of my Evernote notes.
Yeah.
And
Shout
then,
out to Evernote.
and then basically from that, I'll just like hop in the shower and have a think about like, well,
Okay.
how would I visualize these few words that
Yeah.
together like develop like such a strong like emotional like meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I take inspiration from.
Interesting.
And I guess what's next is going to be similar to what's up, but hopefully I'm improving. Obviously, I think that's the reason why we do it, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's so much stuff to learn.
Definitely.
So much stuff to learn.
Yeah, I can't honestly. I couldn't tell you what's specifically next because I don't know, but
Something floral.
something floral and
Exciting times.
something that is coming up is something moving,
Something
Something
moving.
moving.
Is
Yeah.
it as in like a cinematograph?
as in a cinematograph.
Whoa. Gee.
After Effects or Premiere Pro? Or Photoshop, sorry.
I know how to use After Effects. Yeah,
Wow.
Hey,
Many
hey,
styles.
hey,
so
hey.
that's
Very
coming
talented.
up.
Actually, you know, I just recently, last night, I realized something bad that I've been doing.
What
What is it?
All my photos I've exported from Lightroom at like
Low res?
like the lowest.
What do you mean?
But they turn out all right though, because the compression on Instagram is.
What do you mean low res?
Like I actually didn't realize. I didn't scroll down to see what quality I was exporting it at.
You mean it wasn't like 100?
No,
Or was it?
it was like 50 something.
But for Instagram standards, I think that's okay.
Instagram does its own compression
Yeah.
within the uploading
But I
software.
think like if you export at 100, it still helps, wouldn't it?
I think to a degree.
Yeah.
But like
I
man.
don't think you could tell. Like,
But I was like, I'm sending these photos to clients as well. Like,
Oh,
and I
okay.
was like-
Different story.
okay, a different
Different
okay.
story.
And I was like, I
Yeah.
didn't realize. But like to me, in my eyes, I was like, oh yeah, this is like the standard. This is decent. But now, like once I exported at 100, I was like,
Oh, there's a difference.
oh, there's a good difference.
That's the first thing. One of the first few things that I checked straight away.
I didn't know that's the thing because
'Cause
I
I
wasn't,
made that mistake.
I didn't know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
only just learned last night. So
Oh, wow.
now, I mean, I'm not expecting you guys to expect good quality photos from my Instagram anymore.
No more
but, like,
low res Toby from now on.
but
Low
like,
res Toby.
I'm always learning like new things about the stuff that like the programs that I already know.
Yeah.
It's like I'm still learning like how to use them and like how to master them.
Yeah, it's a good tip for photographers as well, or just any creative. Just
Yeah.
learn your craft. Like learn.
Check your settings too.
settings. Like there's a lot of amazing YouTube content out there,
Yes.
and, like you could learn from to improve your game.
Yeah.
and stay ahead. You know.
What's your biggest tip in learning the craft? Obviously,
As
there's
in
so-
editing or photo taking?
as in like
Peter
there's-
McKinnon.
yeah, I mean, as in like there's so many different avenues and ways that the education is provided.
Yeah.
Let's say someone was like fresh into photography. How would you advise them to get to like the best education?
I think in terms of photography, the best.
Because there's a difference between photo taking and editing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think learn how to shoot properly first, and then like along the way get your editing game.
Like take steps.
Take steps.
So like composition,
Yeah.
settings, and then editing.
Oh,
Because if you shoot the photograph well first, the editing process
Is
becomes
easier.
a lot
Yeah.
easier. You want that good lighting because that will influence the whole look of your photo.
yeah.
Obviously, you know, if you're really, really advanced in your Photoshop and stuff like that, you can manipulate a really bad image into a really decent one. So, but if you're just starting out, learn how to shoot. Just take your camera out there, understand what's happening with the lighting. Work with the natural light.
Yeah.
Go outside. Work at nighttime. Work in the daytime. See how the light works. See the temperature. Like is it a bit orange? Is it a bit night? Like what?
Yeah.
Where's the direction of the sun? Every time I start a shoot, I always raise my hand up to see where the shadows and the
I do that
highlights
as
are.
well.
Yeah.
I do.
Little trick.
Always
I bet
looking-
all the
Yeah.
models are like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
Yeah, I'm like, are you waving us? I'm like, no, man,
No,
just
it's just
highlight shadows. Don't you know, man?
Sus and light. Yeah.
How did you learn? Like, is that just like, did that just come to you or like?
Yeah, I think it's a more natural thing because like,
Someone told me.
Someone told you?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I kind of just like thought, well, I need to check the highlights somehow. So I just put up my hand.
I think for me, because like I had 2 different sides, I was like seeing which side had more light coming.
Right.
So I was like, oh, is this?
Yeah.
But I think I was doing this and I wasn't moving, and I was like, that does nothing because like the sun still stays. So I had to actually turn around.
But if you're shooting in the environment a lot, like in particular, like I think a great place to start is always the city. I think a lot of us do a lot of city stuff, and just think about how the colors of the building, where the sunlight's reflecting, what kind of quality of light does that produce? Is it soft? Is it harsh? And like we all know, harsh light is a pain in the ass to work with.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid of it. I feel
Absolutely.
like it has its merits, and if you light correctly, you can make a really impactful image.
Yeah.
So understand the natural light around you, and that is the best thing that you can learn to carry out throughout your whole photography career.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, yeah, on that note, I know a lot of beginners neglect learning about light, and that's such a killer.
And the bloody thing's called photography.
I know.
It's
It's
understanding
ironic.
light.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. Learning about light is it's such a fundamental skill that I think not a lot of people are giving attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Very underrated.
Yeah, very underrated.
when it should be the priority.
It should definitely not be underrated. It should be highly rated.
Do you like shooting in harsh lighting?
The
challenge.
sometimes I'm given time restraints and whatnot, like
Yeah.
availabilities. I have to shoot in the harsh light.
Yeah. But would you?
I always consciously try and aim for soft lighting.
Yeah.
If there's harsh lighting, I always look for the surroundings with lots of buildings for the light to kind of bounce off at. So I get that nicer, softer lighting. So really observe your location. That's what I want. But there are times where I'm like, a harsh lighting would look nice with that. You know, playing with those intense highlights and shadows. You could really highlight certain features of an individual and say something through that lighting.
Yeah.
So there is a time and place, and I feel like if you can kind of control that, you can really control any kind of lighting situation.
Absolutely.
Because it is really easy to default to soft lighting.
Yeah.
I think that's what we all try and do because people look flawless.
Yeah, in soft lighting, or you need to focus on this composition and the subjects.
Yeah, but with harsh lighting, you know, you gotta.
It's a different dynamic.
Yeah, it's like light bending.
Yeah. Light bending.
But yeah.
How about you, Toby?
Yeah.
What?
Do you like shooting in harsh lighting? I know a lot of photographers don't.
I don't know. I like to experiment. Like if it is harsh lighting, then I'll work my way around it. But it's not a matter of whether I like it or not. It's whether like I'm in the mood to shoot, I guess.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm asking the question in the way I think about my answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I think I think if I do feel like in a shooting mood, then and it's harsh lighting, then I'm like I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a shooting mood. I just want to shoot photos.
Well, let's.
Yeah.
All right. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
If you were to shoot in harsh lighting,
Okay.
what kind of concept would you like to do?
Okay. Yeah. Concept. Harsh lighting.
So we're thinking of like really dark, like lots of shadows, very contrasty.
Yeah.
You got to really be careful of what you're shooting.
Yeah, that is true.
For me, like, I really love harsh lighting and I really like to embrace it.
Okay.
The first thing I think of is like do something do some kind of shadowing on the face.
Yeah.
Like that's something that comes like
Play with shadows.
yeah, playing with shadows and like and there's something really intriguing about like a deformation on the face.
Okay.
And I think saying that in a very like projective way, it's not the face itself is deformed, but like something projected onto the face that makes it look less, I guess, more interesting.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Like you can see like on the screen right there, on the feed, that one on like of Indigo, on the left.
This one.
Yeah, that's harsh lighting. That was
Yes.
Yes.
It's really good.
and that's something I find like to do like instinctively is to hold something in front of the light to project a like some kind of shapes
Yes.
onto the subject's face.
Yeah, patterns. Yeah, shapes. Yeah.
wait, didn't you get it? I thought that was what I was talking about.
Sorry, I zoned out for a little. No, yeah. But I get what you
And
mean.
if you maybe if you scroll down further on the feed, I do this a lot. So even there,
Oh yeah, yep.
This one.
there's one there's one on the bottom left.
Left.
Is this harsh lighting? Oh, I can see it.
No,
This-
that's in the shade.
Oh, it's-
But if you scroll down, like above the husky,
this one.
there's that one with the shadows,
Yeah,
and there's even if you scroll further down,
but I guess like the whiteness from the flowers can put on some soft lighting as well.
a little bit. I mean, it was a pretty harsh lighting situation.
Yeah.
Shot it in a way to be able to process the shadows as not as dark.
Yeah, I think what I really like about seeing people's Instagrams is like you don't actually realize it's harsh lighting. Like you know
Well,
what I mean?
you can't really appreciate how the actual
Yeah,
day
the
was.
like the editing
'Cause
is
if it
like
was
it's on point. And
If we put the raw thing out, I think it would look
it's just
do you,
one
do you
it's
ever
just
do
white
that?
light, yeah.
Do you ever put like before and after?
before and after. Yeah, sometimes I get a bit lazy. yeah.
I think because I've been doing more of that recently,
Yes.
and I think people like to see that.
Oh, to appreciate the amount of work that goes
Yeah.
into it.
Like I
People-
remember
yeah.
seeing on your stories before I met you, it's like
Yeah.
I just saw a lot of photoshopping distractions out.
Oh yeah, I
Like
photoshopped the
major distraction. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, like that's a lot of effort, and
Yeah.
I really appreciated that.
Yeah, those hours spent on those photos. But nah, then yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, harsh lighting, harsh light bender, Mr. Tommy Quo. Yeah. Should we? Any last thoughts? I think.
Not anything I can think of.
Should we wrap it up?
Well,
Last comments, final comments.
whose photography style do you appreciate the most?
Oh.
Outside of this room.
Outside this room.
Outside of this room.
Let Jeremy answer. I can't think yet.
At the
Or for you, maybe
at the moment,
like a director of photography.
I don't know. In terms of just photography, because like they're not.
Are we talking about
mutually
Instagram accounts or just
anyone, literally
anyone.
anyone.
Oh, okay.
In terms of photography, I don't know. I just see what I like, and then I forget names. I'm really bad at names. Tommy, I think you have someone in mind.
Yeah.
Before, let me.
Go Alicia Albee. Alicia Albee.
How do I spell that?
ALESSIO. There we go. Alicia ALBI.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow, she's good.
He's good.
I mean, he's good.
Oh, Jay,
my
Jay.
bad. Sorry. Shout out to Alicia Alvey.
This guy.
I love you.
Just found out.
Yeah.
Based in Italy. Shout out to Italy.
Italian
What's
portrait
going on here?
photographer, and I've been following his work for maybe like 2 or 3 years now, and there's something almost like cinematic, or I think it's the way he manipulates light.
Oh,
He
wow.
makes
Yeah.
cigarette smoking look so cool.
Yeah. Like
Damn.
he's got a very diverse portfolio.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
I
It's crazy
think I
stuff.
got the inspiration of like doing something with the harsh shadows on like the face.
Okay.
Like through this guy. Do you see that photo with like the woman wearing the sun hat
The hat.
on the that one?
Oh,
Something like
that's
that.
matching, yeah.
I love this guy.
This guy's amazing.
This guy's a good. This guy's.
He's a good photographer.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
guy. Look. How do you make swimming look so stunning?
Yeah, legit.
Wow. Wow,
Uh,
this is crazy.
Yeah.
Is that sunset reflected
I-
onto her head?
Or is that a composite?
Yes. I think it's
Got a mirror?
some kind of reflective
Yeah.
device.
Oh, so it's not a composite. It's not a composite, right?
That's
No,
creativity.
that's a
That is
photo.
creative.
Wow.
AF.
very natural looking.
I
Very natural
know
looking.
Jeremy's gonna hit that follow button like real quick. Look at that.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. You know.
He's my biggest inspiration.
Interesting. Yeah, that's it. I like that.
Damn, this guy's good.
Yeah, Jeremy. Yeah, we're gonna start seeing more shots on this from Jeremy.
That'd be cool.
Each photo is
It tells a wild story.
there's a story.
Like, there's a story to be
said.
told, yeah.
There's a story. Like I can just
What
imagine.
are his captions like?
This one.
Let's
Let's try
read
this
one.
one. Okay, it's just
okay.
just a tag. Okay.
Oh, okay. So
Because the
yeah,
picture tells 1,000 words.
What are your thoughts on big Instagram accounts where they have little to no words in the captions?
I think those people are the type to think that all is needed to tell the story is the story itself,
right.
the photo.
Yeah. So, like, in what terms does that? How does that contrast to your like long, lengthy captions?
I guess it's a style, right?
Yeah.
Some
Exactly,
people,
yeah.
like, I think even the way I think about a lot of things is in terms of like graphic design, right?
Okay, yeah.
And in graphic design, I think that in my brain there are two main types of designers.
Yep.
They're the type of people who are super minimal.
Yeah.
Everything's black and white. Everything's got to be like correct to the pixel. Like everything is perfect, right? And then there are the designers who love to explore,
Okay.
and they have wacky hair colors and they wear like really exciting things, right? I'm talking about in like a very extreme sense
Yeah.
on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Like these two people on the spectrum can deliver very exceptional work, and at the same time their work is completely different.
Yes.
And I guess tying back into like caption writing, it's like, well, do you want to let the work speak for itself, or do you want to speak like, or communicate more of a message in like a different a format?
Yeah.
Everyone has their preference, you know.
I like that.
Yeah, I think I'm still very tied to design,
Yeah.
as that's the way
Fair enough.
I think I'm a little bit wired. But
Yeah.
but I've definitely translated some of those skills and like philosophies and thoughts into photography practice.
100%.
Who inspired? Like, was the question who inspires me?
Yeah.
I personally, well, I think for me, like being one of those young photographers, like I'm not saying you guys aren't young. It was just like one of those like Instagram is everyone, like everyone's on Instagram. So like I think for
Instagram
me,
photographers.
Demis from Sydney.
Demas Ruli.
Yeah, Demis Risley from Instagram. In Sydney, yeah, our friend from Sydney.
DEMAS. I think it's
just Demis now. Yeah.
He branded himself.
Yes. Yeah, for me, I think I personally find him really inspiring because he creates really interesting composites for me. Like it's not out of the world composites. It's sort of like out of the box composites. Not out of this world, but out of the
These
box.
are like. He seems like a trend setter. Like he sets up.
Yeah.
Like he would inspire a lot of photographers, and start shooting that as well.
Like seeing things from a different perspective. That in that sense. And then for me, another inspiration would be Peter McKinnon. Mainly because I know everyone like loves Peter McKinnon for his like photography and YouTube and stuff. But for me, I knew him before that because he used to be a magician.
So that really resonated with you.
Yeah. For me as like a magician and photographer, so like to that I was like, yeah, this is dope.
That is dope.
I like that. And then he's blown up on YouTube, as everyone would know him from. And for me, I'm like on the verge of like kickstarting that YouTube.
That's
wheel.
awesome, dude.
So yeah, that's my inspirations.
Go for it, my friend.
Like I don't really have any. I don't really have any.
Go for it.
I don't really have
Run
any.
that marathon.
I don't have any style inspirations because, like I said, like I just stylize the way I felt at that moment or when I'm editing and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, I had a lot of time to think about.
How about you, Jeremy?
Honestly, like, I recently haven't like I follow a variety of photographers and I love their work, but in terms of as a source of inspiration, it's always going to be just looking at the things around me.
Yeah.
I'm always because for me, with my work in particular, I look at things. I'm like, hey, I can make something out of that. And then it's always going to be every single set that is going to have some kind of inspiration from different people's works.
Yeah.
Like I take bits and pieces. Like I feel like Quentin Tarantino is very reflective to how I go about developing concepts and stuff like that. I take bits and pieces of everyone and just mash it all together.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't do that. Sometimes I just go off mad tangents and just think of some weird ass whack stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, in both cases, like that's who you are.
Yeah.
You are the combination of like everything you've experienced, all the movies you've seen, your preferences, and that's what forms together to create what you want to like output to the world.
Yeah. I really do want to shout out some.
What's
like
that guy?
that Italian guy.
Doing a lot of
was
shout outs
amazing,
today.
man.
Shout out to everyone today.
Sometimes like let's say I hear two words together or something like I don't know, like cappuccino and like macchiato, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, maybe there's something there, like a photography concept.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
Just two words together, and it's like, oh, maybe
Oh, actually, Coco is really good.
Nicola.
Nicola, yeah.
Shout out to Nicola.
I
I completely forgot. Yeah,
I'm actually someone that doesn't know who we're
She's
talking about.
Melbourne based.
this is her stuff.
Okay.
I
I'll look at it.
forgot. I completely forgot about it.
Wow,
Yeah,
This is nice.
Awesome girl.
I think
awesome
I had
girl.
class with her one time.
You had a class with her. Photography?
Yeah, locational imaging. I don't know. I
didn't know that. That's cool.
I don't think she knows me, but I think,
You're a little
I
fanboy.
remember. Yeah, but yeah, she's got some really cool stuff.
I like this.
even a self portrait.
Yeah.
She was the second person I've ever collaborated with on Instagram.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Shout out to Nicola.
Shout out to Nicola.
Coco.
I don't know, but shout out to Nicola.
Yeah. I think like that. What was the Italian guy's name?
Alicia Elby.
Alicia Albi. I feel that kind of that feeling when I see Alicia's is similar to how I see Coco's.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
for
big,
sure.
man. That's
yeah.
big. I like
So
that.
love your work. Appreciate the post.
He's lost for words.
I lost words, yeah. No, but yeah, it's there's so many talented people out there, and you know, I think everyone deserves a little bit of love.
Yeah.
And you know, we could be sitting here all day shouting out everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for you guys for tuning in for our second episode of Klickback. Yeah, it's really
Thank you.
talking about our styles and
I think that's something not a lot of people talk about in depth, and it really opens up like a can of worms.
I think a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, my style's like, oh I like using these colors only. That's it. But like they don't talk about like the shooting thoughts and stuff like that.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, tune in next time, guys. This is Klickback. I'm Toby.
I'm Tommy.
I'm Jeremy. Thank you for watching, listening.
And
Both.
listening.
Yeah.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out.